I was laughing because I said to myself, I've got a hot cup of milk between my legs. Anybody want a sip? I was going to say, should I try recording that over again? I almost did. So here is my fourth dose, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm calculating the microliters in my head to 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 see how I can titrate this medicine. Okay, it does keep me relatively stable, I think. Not good for the mind in the long run. No. Temporary fix for a long-term problem. But suitable for medicine when disturbed psychologically by the federal government. Anyway, let's have a conversation here with our friends and family, but they may say to you, I'm not your friend. Serious. Some of them may be mean for one reason or another that we just simply may not know the or understand the explanation for. So that's one thing that we need to keep in mind when communicating with these beings. That's why I was saying respect is key. I know this looks funny, right? Or downright wrong. It's not. There's wrong and there's wrong. And there's wrong. Back to subject. Okay. I was thinking I want to get, I'm going to have to decide what kind of microphone that I want, and I want, for the sake of these experiments, I believe the electromagnetic spectrum and all its variety is pertinent. We've got a little bit of background noise. A little too much for my liking right now for this session, so I'm going to go ahead, and we're actively in an EVP session, so I'm going to pause this, explain my methodology. That's a little more even. Okay, so you want some background ambient noise to simulate, at the very least, realism, a real environment. Or you could have a dead silent one, because I've recorded in dead silence. So I'm going to try to not be long-winded here. In the future, when I do recordings, when I have the equipment I want, I'm not an audio expert by any means, but I understand the technology sufficiently enough to explore and research. That being said, why not just buy several kinds of microphones and experiment with my research? I'm trying to knock out a bunch of these episodes because in 45 days or less, I've got a school term. I'm going to be taking a trigonometry class and an art class. I like to stagger my classes with a hard class and then an easy class. Because right now, I'm on academic probation, so I've got to raise my GPA. So the goal is just to pass. That's it. And knock out my requirements that apply to my major, and an art class is one of them. I'm required to take an art class to graduate. So, I mean, of some kind, everybody has to. An arts or humanities class to graduate any college in the U.S. Any and every college, actually. Every college. Probably. Unless you're in a trade school. Or, who knows. Anyway, the purpose of this is because I want wave audio. Because it's lossless. Right now here we have lossy 16-bit audio, but I've managed with it before, evidently. Here we just have an audio and video stream compressed together in an MP4 format. MP4 container. MP4 is physically, it's a digital container for video, and however it's recorded, whether it be WAV, it could be MP3, AVI. So it's a video and an audio stream, of course, in one. So but I think it's always, yeah, there's always an MP3 stream. With an MP4, I do believe. See, I should know that well enough. I know there are different file headers, you know, and anyway, we're not on that subject. I must be stoned because I'm spacey. This I'm feeling right away because it's RSO and it's really powerful. And I'm taking it in a hot drink in my mouth, so if I hold it in my tongue, technically, in my mouth, even if it hurts because it's too hot, it should kick in pretty fast. That was my first time trying that. Anyway, I talk to them like they're human. That's why but they're not human, and that has to be respected too. Or maybe not the same as human, but maybe they came from us. Maybe they came from human. Maybe I did create them. I've had other recordings. I said like this. I said I have a hypothesis that one of these that I said something somewhere along the lines of, from what I understand, I go in one of these bodies that I create, and so does Elon, and we may both be members of rival factions, and you hear a voice next to me that says yes, but they will use sound to create sound, if that makes sense. They will manipulate it, they'll modulate it. They can. So they'll pop off of something like a, and then speak. And sometimes I can lightly hear them, I do believe. I think I can. And most of the time I'll ignore it, even though I know, hey, it could be them. You know? Because if they really want something to say to me, if they really have something to say, they'll say it here. Or they'll say it right in my face. And they've done it. And I think they don't do it all the time for a reason. Probably because they know the limits of our minds. And I don't even think I know the limits of my own. I think they try to protect me a lot, maybe. And maybe for my own self. I think they're quite fair with me, though. If I am too harsh with somebody, they'll be harsh towards me. They'll penalize me. They'll torture me in my sleep if I deserve it. I'm not joking. It's happened to me. It's happened to me in my conversations with the government and whatever and things I've said towards Elon Musk. I've been punished for it already. In my sleep, in my bed. So anybody that looks at me and thinks they know me, you don't know a fucking thing about me. But I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm really making an effort. I'm different. I'm not like most people. I'm never going to be. I'm really looking forward to meeting my special someone, and I think she's out there somewhere. The special one is a bunch of bullshit, is what it is. Really is. Maybe. Or maybe there is some sort of destiny for us. Some of us. Is that fair? Why only some of us? No. The reality is, I don't think the universe plays favorites. I think people do. I mean, does that mean the universe plays favorites? Think about all the horrible things that have happened to all the youth, the children in Gaza, is what's on my mind all the time. The nightmare in my mind. That haunts me. I saw images that really hurt me mentally. And to know that my government is addressing funds to spy on me, and then they go and use those funds for military purposes. It all goes in the same boat with Uncle Sam. Okay? That budget for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, it gets divvied out wherever, you know? What, the Department of Defense, right? The FBI? Wherever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The government's still writing the check. And they're using me to do it. They're using my friend to do it. To aid war crime. Or at one point. Until Biden said, whoa, 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 whoa. Right? POTUS? I respect that. At least he said, well, wait a minute. We've got to be careful here, or can't be doing this, can't be aiding war crime. These beings, I want to make the subject here, though. I don't think they're going to engage with humanity sufficiently until we further evolve. But I think they're trying to make an effort to communicate, and they're using some of us for it. Intentionally, because some of us are designed for it. Like me. I've always known that. I was told it. The government saw me be told by these entities that I'm designed for this. I showed them. I showed them the recording. And if they weren't paying attention and they didn't gather it, that's not my fault. Hypothesis. Hypothesis, that's all. I may be wrong. Hell, maybe I heard it wrong. That happens too. So what I'm here to say is, before we get really deep into these sessions, honesty here matters with these beings, so you can't go out there and falsely misrepresent them or anything they say or do. And I have accidentally done that at times myself. think, yeah. Possibly, yeah. Accidentally. But I think they keep communicating with me because I'm willing to understand them, like I want to be understood. So in a way, we kind of understand each other. I've got trigonometry to learn in one programming language at least before I start the term. That's what I want to do. I want to get started on both of those things. And I say, after all that's happened to me, and after organizing my thoughts here, this is just a testament to my technical mind and my capacity to really, well, I can achieve in a roundabout way, in a funny way, I guess. I'm on my way there, in a bass-backwards kind of way. But anyway, this podcast is about an introduction to these beings. This episode in particular, I've opened up an environment, or created an environment, or at least not created, but the place is quiet enough. Some ambient noise. I've got an ionizer going intentionally for this experiment. It is an experiment, but it is a communication attempt. So if any of you are here, I still don't know what to call you, but for the sake of the audience, I mean, as far as I've... Did you say something? I didn't know what to call you, and because of my hypothesis, I named you humans. Because I have a hypothesis that you are our future creation, back to haunt us. And from what I've been told by you, and I'm going to say you because it applies to all of you, because I don't see everything in your realm, in your world. But you called me the progenitor. Yes, you are the progenitor. I was asking if I was. Like I felt like I was, Like I feel connected. No way. That I can't explain. I can't reconcile with reality. So, for the audience, and I'm thinking you may have already answered the question, because I thought I heard you. But can you introduce yourself? Is there anything that you have to say to us? Who are you? I've invited them to come here and speak with us. Is there anything that's on your mind? Is there something that you would like me to address? Who am I to you? I've never asked for any one of your names and have received a response that I know of. I am under the impression you do not have names. Is this true? Is the future me here right now? Do I succeed on my objective on creating the human species? This has been a long session, and what I've done, audience, is that I've given these beings an opportunity to comment on anything that I'm saying in a discussion, just like it were you and I talking. And that's the way I do some of these recordings. I will say what's on my mind, say how I feel if I'm upset, deeply ponder or explore my thoughts or questions about them. And if they don't want to be disturbed, they'll say, "Shut the fuck up." Really. They will. Or they will politely listen and be kind and loving, and it depends on their mood and who they are and why they're here. Yeah. So that's the end of the session. And there is a good possibility that at least one of you out there has said, after reviewing these recordings, "Oh my God, that's a voice." God had nothing to do with it. If there is a God, the universe is God. And if we created these beings, we might as well be gods. Might as well be. And the reason why I call them family is because I feel like they have been to me. They've been here. They've been here for me. And we are all one. And the universe, any sufficiently advanced or evolved species knows we're all connected. We're all family. And that we should all ideally, in a perfect evolved society, love one another. And love life. Now I've been wanting to get some of this off my chest. Get some of these projects out of the way. But like I said, I have other things to do. I've got this human life to live. if I'm going to succeed at this, I've got to start now. I've got things to learn. I've got a school term coming up. I've got people to sue if need be. I'm always mad about something, kind of. But I need to take better care of myself. I've got somebody out there that needs me. Maybe a few people. I've got to do that right. I want to learn. I've got math to learn, man. I've got to learn trigonometry this coming term and pass with a C or better. Oh, so maybe I'll do a little bit of HTML and a little bit of trigonometry every day. Or on schedule, something. I've got to do it. I'm a computer technician, I should know Python and everything else by now. I've been in tech since I was 19. But anyway, what I'm saying is I've started this podcast, all of them. I will come back to these when I can. Meaning, when and if I feel like I have spare time. There's a night I can't sleep and I say, hey, I've got homework to do, there's nothing else I can do. I don't have the time to break down quantum science. Physics. I'm going to have a conversation with myself and hope that we have some visitors if I put a new 32-bit microphone up there, okay? That's the way we'll do this, okay? If I've got a rant about the government, can't sleep, pissed off, I've said most of what I've got to have had to say. I've said how I feel. So, right now I'm doing things for me. That's what I'm doing. This podcast is the one I'm supposed to enjoy. One's for education, and something I just wanted to put out there for the public, my ideas. I just couldn't get out of my head. But this one is personal to me. This one is my space. My secret place. The one thing I have about me that most of humanity doesn't have. And I don't have most of what they have, so it's almost like a gift from the universe that I needed. I hope I'm not alone forever. How about this? I'm not going to be. No,